Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very first episode of David versus Everyone. That is the official name of this podcast. I am David, alongside my official co-host for now, Christopher Eric McDozer. That is what we're going to be calling him.
How's it going, everyone?
We got.
I hope you guys enjoy what we got coming for you.
What? The ghost? Yes, the ghost is coming for you. I got refreshments, Red Code Mountain Dew, because I am a young child still, and
I thought that was a mixed drink over there.
I still drink Red Code Mountain Dew, and I got Iddles. Without putting names out there or anything, I got some Iddles. Okay, I'm gonna pop these open, and let me actually start the timer here because we are on a tight schedule. Some of us have actual jobs in the morning, and some of us just want to go to bed. So we're going to be talking about a couple of different topics here. I'm just going to run through a few of them here, just trying something out, and hopefully you guys enjoy the layout of this very first episode. It may change throughout time. It may even get bigger and badder and better than ever than it is right now, but you never know. And
that's what the hopes are.
Yeah, in like 4 or 5 years, or maybe even a year or so, we look back on this and we're like, wow, that was really cringeworthy. So we're trying to make it as least cringeworthy as possible. So as I'm reading you off this, I'm going to open up my Iddles here. And, so we're going to be talking
about... We want you guys to like our content and, look forward to the next ones coming out and come back and watch the newest ones. Newest videos released.
Alright, so what me and Chris have decided for our very first episode here is we're going to be talking about how me and Chris met. That way you guys can get an understanding of why we're doing this and how me and Chris came to be friends over the years. And then we've picked out a few topics that we've talked about in the past, but now we want to bring it more to YouTube and to the listeners' ears. And that is why kids don't play outside anymore. Why don't these kids play outside? My friend Chris here has a child. I do not, but I have many friends. This is so hard to talk and eat Skittles at the same time. But why don't kids play outside anymore?
You look like you have a big glob in your mouth.
And then we're going to talk about, are you a breakfast guy or are you not a breakfast guy? I feel like everybody in the world has
Don't mind him. He's always eating.
I feel like everybody in this world has the decision when they get up. Do you want to eat breakfast or do you not want to eat breakfast? I used to be a correctional officer. I used to work at a prison. And when I worked at the prison, all the inmates, they all either threw a hissy fit when you told them it was breakfast time, or they didn't. This is a pretty common topic, I feel. And one that me and Chris will definitely be talking about here pretty soon. And then our last topic that we will be discussing today, hopefully, is what we'd like to see out of this podcast, out of David versus Everyone on YouTube. Let me just also say real quick that the reason that we are on Skype is because we used to live near each other. We actually used to be somewhat of neighbors, but then I grew a set of nuts, like the chestnuts that you find on the trees, and moved out of the state that Chris lives in currently. So, with that all said, Chris, we'll turn it over to you. You can say what you got to say and introduce yourself. I'm going to continue eating my noodles.
So like he said, I do got a son, 4-year-old son, who, when we get into talking about the whole young children and not playing, enough outside and being, basically addicted and glued to the electronics for a lot more hours, many more hours than they should be. A lot of times not controlled either. I'll touch on that topic then. But Dave and I became friends. We were both working I was working at a pizza place just a few minutes down the road, pretty much right outside his driveway. and was working there for a few months, and Dave came along. We had a new guy to the crew, and he was a cool guy, so we clicked. We hung out. We were chilling.
Whoa, hold on 1 second there, cowboy.
What?
Wow. I told you this the other day. I remember
What?
it. So I remember being friends with our friend Andrew, and Andrew was like, "Oh yeah, I got this job now. Do you want to come work with me?" This chubby,
That's
this
right.
chubby
Andrew
Italian
did work
guy.
there first.
Yep. This chubby Italian guy, who was the boss, his name was Gino. He was looking for another driver, so I said, "Sure." I was what, probably 17. I don't think. No, I wasn't even. I was definitely 16 or 17.
You had to if you were driving.
Yeah, I was definitely 16. I was still in high school.
Andrew was 17 when he started there.
Yeah. And basically, I got a job there. It was me, you, and Andrew. And I said to Andrew, I was like, "Who works there that we know?" And he said, "This kid, Chris." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know that kid." And I was like, "All right, is he cool?" He's like, "Oh, he's older than us, kind of a dorky guy, whatever." So I said, "All right." Long story short, we became friends or whatever. But the reason I stopped you is because I had mentioned to you yesterday that you guys used to hang out and do things at your house, and I would be leaving work. And I'd be like texting Andrew like, "Yo, where'd you guys go?" "Oh, we're at Chris's house." And I'd be like,
Yeah, I don't
Did
recall.
I get my invite? No, I did
You
not.
must have never said anything to me because there would have been no reason you wouldn't have came to hang out with us.
It got to a point. I'm about to blow Chris's up. It got to a point. I remember this, where I would go and knock on your front door and text Andrew and be like, "Yo, tell Chris to let me in." And Chris, because he has a basement in his house, would come upstairs. I'd be like, "What are you doing here?" Me and Andrew only chilling for like 10 more minutes. And I'd be like, "I don't want to chill, bro. I don't got no friends." And just like, yeah.
The loner after work having nothing to do.
But, so, yeah. So, anyways, for the viewer out there, anybody watching, all of our one viewers, me and Chris met at a pizza place.
Wait, we got one viewer right now?
No, we're not live.
Oh, I was about to say.
But yeah, so we met at the pizza place, and then the pizza place shut down, and we all went our separate ways. I finished high school. Andrew went, not that it matters, but Andrew went and worked with his, Andrew didn't go work with his dad until after, because we were working at Croton, name drop. We were working at Croton, and then I tried to get Andrew a job with us while me and you were working at Croton, because me and you worked with Ant and all them, and then Andrew was working with his dad, and then I said, "Andrew, you should come work with us," which led to him working at one of the best warehouses in the state and makes hundreds of thousands of fucking dollars. So, anyway, sorry, I'm not supposed to curse, but I can't help myself. But anyways, so yeah, so what happened was, for the viewer, we also went our separate ways. Gino shut down, pizza place shut down. And do you want to tell the story, or no? Actually, let me tell my side of the story. So this pretty much all. This podcast could be discussions too, but this is just an introduction on how me and Chris.
Shutting down?
What?
On how he shut down?
No, I'm talking. This is still like how me and you kind of like met and stuff. Like,
yeah.
So I was telling the story of how I went to Croton and worked with you for a year, because we were only at Gino's for like 7 months, 8 months.
Yeah, it was definitely under a year. I know that.
But yeah, anyways, so I remember like it was yesterday. I remember where I was and everything. I was at the house, at my dad's house, and I got a call. I just graduated high school, and I had no idea what I was going to do for work because I told my dad, and I told everybody really, and to this day, I would still say the same thing. Um, that when I graduated high school, I didn't want to go to college. I never wanted to go to college, and I didn't want to go in the armed forces. I didn't want to. Like I went to BOCES. I went to trade school, and I hated BOCES. Like I did 2 years of it for computers, and I hated it. I don't know. You knew that, right?
Yep.
And so,
that's why you're the computer guy.
yeah. And then so I didn't want to do anything with computers. I just wanted. I don't. It doesn't really matter, but I just wanted to do my own thing. But I had gotten a call from you, and you were like, "Oh yeah, my mom works at this place, and I work there now, and like Gino shut down."
Ring. Hey buddy, you need a job?
Yeah. And you said, "Hey, like me," and I don't know if you know Ant, and I said, "Nah, I don't know. I don't remember if I knew him or not yet. I might have met him once or twice, but yeah." And then I went down there and pretty much got hired the day I walked in. And Frank was our boss, and we'll keep obviously last names out of it, but Frank was our boss, and he was like, "Yeah, your friends with Chris, and you had been there already, and yeah, me and Chris worked together for." I was there for like a year. Well, I was there a year on and off.
Yeah, at least a year, I'd say.
But then throughout that time, for the viewer, this is really crazy. Chris, you want to tell that? I'm gonna let you talk in a second. But what I was gonna say is, throughout that year, these people that are going back or watching this in the future or whatever, what people gotta understand is, we literally, me, Chris, I would say me, you. I would say me, you, and Andrew probably. We got so many people jobs there, like so many.
Yeah.
Like he obviously Chris knows all about it. We talk about it to this day. This was like what 8 years ago now, 7 years ago. Like we got so like we got.
I stopped working there in May of 2017.
I got Andrew a job there.
No, 2018.
You got me the job there. What's his face there?
Everyone that
everyone
that I introduced to it got the job there.
Oh, yeah, because I needed people.
Oh yeah,
like
that place. Everyone would come and go over there.
For anybody watching who works or has had multiple jobs in their lifetime, if your job is, I want to say a shithole, but this place was like a shithole. With all due respect to the people that worked there, because Chris's mom worked there for how many years? But your mom was like, she was not management, but she was payroll. But she was.
Oh yeah. Oh, she was a lot more than just payroll.
Yeah, she wasn't doing what we were doing.
She did even more than what her job required.
Yeah.
But hey, that's what happened.
I'm sure she would have went out there. I'm sure she would have went out there and built the pallet.
Oh yeah. And just some advice for the viewers out there. If you're thinking about a warehouse job or you've worked one or two in the past or whatever.
That's what I've done.
Warehouses are good. They're nice. Obviously, definitely very physical. But just make sure you get into the right warehouse that pays the right and the right wage, right amount of money and stuff, and preferably incentive pay. This way, the harder you bust your ass, the more you're making. This way, it's very frustrating when you're hustling and the guy next to you is doing less than half the work, but yet you're walking away with the same pay. So it's always nice when you're making more for your efforts and your worth ethic. But just make sure that you're also treated well there.
Couch skittle.
To the best you could, at least.
Do you want
find the right warehouse if that's something you want to get into?
Before I continue with my story, do you want to say anything?
Nah. Other than that, we did have a great time, and
I don't care.
Hey, it doesn't hurt if you do get your friend or your friend gets a job with you. It's always awesome working with a friend.
Yeah,
especially in a job like that.
Yeah, and Chris can tell you too. Like we had out of all the jobs that I've I've had a lot of jobs.
Oh yeah. I thought I had a lot. He's had about 4 times me.
That was probably the most one of probably in the top 3 most fun jobs I've ever had. Just because,
Oh, yeah.
like, yeah, me, you,
It
and-
made it the best because we all worked together.
Yeah.
You went to work with your friends.
oh, shit.
Me and our buddy Ant that he was mentioning before, we were together more time than we were home with our families.
Yeah.
More time than we saw our own families. Literally.
The
Especially when you're working 10, 12, 14-hour shifts.
well,
And sleeping the other remaining hours of the day.
yeah, it was overnights for anybody wondering. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was fun and going. I almost just knocked over my refreshments. I should probably
His idols.
no my drink. I had it down by my foot. I almost just knocked it
Who
over.
else agrees this guy is talking like he's from the 90s? My refreshments. Going to a movie theater, an old-fashioned movie.
Hey, it's a
I
refreshment.
got my
I'm
popcorn,
making it way
my
back.
soda pop, my refreshments.
It's supposed to be David versus everyone. So if you don't like my refreshments, you. So, but anyways, going off the topic of how me and him met, and just friendship that we've known each other for. It was someone asked me on the street. How
We
many-
get along very well. There's times we take shots at each other. That's all I love.
We
No
all-
hatred
yeah.
here.
I think a good friendship, regardless of me and Chris or me and anybody else I'm friends with, if you have a good friend like LJ, for example, we'll name drop LJ. I'm gonna send this video to everybody so they can all enjoy it. Like LJ, like we all love LJ. And LJ, if you're watching, I'm gonna throw some shade your way. We all love LJ, but we all throw a lot of shade at him. We all throw a lot of shit at him. Yo, I mean, hey, whatever. Angie too, but we don't really talk to him.
Hey, it's being real with your real boys.
I mean, whatever. But so, to end this, not end it, but like kind of wrap
And
it
just
up.
move on to the next
Well, no, what I was gonna say is,
topics. We'll get much better with this as the future rolls around.
Yeah. So me and him worked at Croton. And then I didn't really see much after that as far as like, I mean, we
Yeah,
still-
there was a little period of time that we hadn't talked much.
Yeah, well, we all left Croton. Like, I left Croton because me and Andrew went and got a different job. And then you stayed there for a little bit. You became the manager, right? Or like some.
Oh yeah,
And then,
yeah, became the
yeah.
one of the night supervisors, helped run the office, run the warehouse.
And then me and Andrew hung out a lot. And then I remember dating Elizabeth. And me and whenever Elizabeth came over in my side of town, we would stop. Remember that? Remember we were talking to her on the phone or something? And she was like, "Hey, I know where he lives. And we used to stop by there or whatever."
Oh
So like
yeah,
there was times where I would stop and try and talk to you, and even with Andrew, like me and Andrew would be coming home because we worked day shift when we worked at Capstone, and we were trying to. I think you were at the Chinese place, or maybe you were. I don't know if you were at the Chinese place, but you might have been home. I don't know. I would always mention.
yeah, I've been there for
Yeah, if I was
a
driving
handful
down,
of years, so
yeah.
it could have been.
if I was driving down the road, I'm not gonna say the name of the road, but if I was driving down the road that your Chinese place is on, my least favorite road in America, starts with a B.
Oh yeah,
And if I was driving down that road with
I know.
whoever, it didn't matter. Like if they knew you, like maybe not Elizabeth, but like Andrew, for example,
yeah.
I would be like, I'd be
LJ
like,
screamed out the window when he seen me getting in my car.
yeah. I'd be like, let's go. Especially if it was midday, I'd say let's go and stop. But yeah, I mean, like I said, like for the viewer at home, if you're gonna come, like, all right. So I don't. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Like my theory is, a lot of people aren't gonna watch this video first. They'll see videos because if you think about it, like I don't know how much YouTube you really watch, but take a famous YouTuber, maybe not famous, but a YouTuber you
Yeah,
watch.
you click around.
Yeah, you click around, right? So like people who may have watched the video that we made.
They might see the next 3 videos before they see this one.
Yeah, exactly. So like for the viewer at home, what you gotta understand is, me and Chris been friends for a long time. We've been friends for close to maybe 8 to 10 years. I'd probably closer to 8 years, but I'd say 2016 since I got out of high school.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to. I think this was my last. Let me just look real quick. Yeah. While we're doing the podcast, I have it as the first topic. But so like I'll say like my reasoning, and this is kind of off the top of my head. I didn't really rehearse any of this, but like, and he knows. Chris obviously knows that, but I would just like to make a podcast with Chris and maybe others that I'm friends with. I've talked to some other people, like my brother-in-law is very funny. And even if it's me, Chris, and my brother-in-law, or me and my brother-in-law, or whatever, like, it'll be a podcast.
The more the merrier, right?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what they say.
Chris is going to hate this, but it's my podcast that I want to have with Chris and others. You know what I mean? So, like,
of course.
I would say if I were to make 100 videos, I'd want 98 of them to be with Chris, and that's the God's honest truth. And I'm not trying to be sentimental, but that's the God's honest truth. Me and Chris, and he can obviously contribute to this as well or whatever. Me and him talk on the phone basically every night. Have for the past probably, I don't know what, Chris, 2 years. Like maybe not every night, but like
when Dave relocated and moved to the other state that he lives in now. I mean, we were on the phone his whole ride there, and
so like
kept in the company.
Yeah,
but we keep in touch like crazy.
So I moved. I don't really care about telling people. Like, I really don't give a crap. But I moved away. I moved very far away, and I contribute surviving in the beginning, not now, but in the beginning of moving. Because anybody who's moved out of their home at a young, maybe not a young age, but I was 22. So when I moved out, I had no idea what I was doing. I had my sister and my Andrew, our friend Andrew, his mom, and then I had Chris and LJ and Andrew a little bit, but Andrew's busy doing his thing. Andrew hasn't really changed in the past 4 years, 3 or 4 years. He really hasn't. I love Andrew, don't get me wrong, but I've told him this, so if he watches this and hears me say it, he knows this already. He's a good friend of mine. He's helped me out a lot too, but he's his own person now. Like, it is what it is. I don't blame him. He's doing his own thing. But for the viewer, those people have really helped me, and if me and Chris can make this something and make this turn this into something special, and people like enjoy watching it and hearing us talk, then hey, whatever. So
absolutely,
I'll let Chris.
They're gonna
and I'm just gonna
viewers out there and everyone will hopefully love our content, and as we grow, like it better and better. And down the road, hey, we encourage you guys to leave comments below, give us a like, subscribe to our channel.
All right, we're back to the David versus Everyone podcast. We were just talking about how me and Chris met, and we're going to transition now to a new topic, and that is, why don't kids play outside anymore? This was something that we talked about the other day on the phone, and I'm going to let Chris open up this conversation to blow Chris's spot up, because he has kids, or a kid. That is
one kid.
A little gremlin.
Don't push it yet.
A little gremlin.
I plan on having more, but not quite yet.
I also have many, many, many friends who have kids, and I do not have any kids, and yeah. So, Chris, why don't kids play outside anymore? And before you start, sorry, that's just me. You get used to it. Before you start, since this podcast is David versus everyone, I'm not going to try my hardest to make it seem like I'm going against you, but if I oppose something you say, which we already know I'm going to,
that's part of the conversation.
I am going to blow yours up.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's go.
All right, tough guy. Come on.
So anyway, why children, specifically younger children, anywhere
Can I
from
get-
I would say
Can I
probably,
get an age group?
huh?
Can I get an age group?
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Probably like, you think it's safe to say 8, maybe?
I'd say ages.
Like 8 to 15
How
at
old
least.
is your kid?
My son's 4. I mean, realistically, younger.
I would
to
say
me.
no, not his age, because he doesn't even really know what video games are.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's true.
I would
So like
say, what age do
7,
you think?
8ish.
What age do you think kids are starting to talk about video games? I mean,
7, 8, 8, 9. I don't know. These
I
days,
was
probably
playing.
even
I was
younger.
playing N64 at 3 years old.
Yeah.
So
I mean, exactly. So everyone's different. But I would say roughly 7 to like 15, 16.
you
Even
said 16.
even older, honestly.
Ain't no 16-year-old. Ain't no 16-year-old going
Yeah, dude,
outside.
20. You're in your 20s and you.
I'm 24. No
And you
16-year-old is going outside. When you were 16, Chris, your ass was not going outside and playing in the streets.
Not in the streets, but we were playing basketball
We're talking about.
at the courts every
We're
day.
talking about things that. I'm talking about what parents. You as a. All right,
No,
so you
I
as
get
a
it.
parent.
So like 7 to like 4, 7 to
You as a parent say to your kid.
14.
You as a parent say to your kid, who will leave his name out, go outside and play with your friends. Now, real quick, I'm gonna let you finish, but real quick, like remember when you were? I mean, all right. So when I'll talk on me because I don't know your history of life, but
Childhood.
yeah, when you were when I was a kid, my parents used to say, enough with the game, go outside and do whatever. And we did a test run earlier, and I'll say this joke again. Actually, it's not even a joke. My mom did say this to me, but she said, "Go outside and play with mud or make mud pies or whatever." She said when I was probably like, I don't even know, probably like 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that in that area. But like, I would look at her sideways because like I had a GameCube and N64 and like PS2 and like why would I want to go outside?
I feel like it comes down to that too. The more spoiled the kids are with 5 different consoles, gaming consoles and stuff, the more options you have.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, I mean, yeah, I think it's a smart idea for parents to put screen limits, time limits, especially the younger
Don't
the child
go after
is.
the parents if you don't want mean comments. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I said don't go after the parents if you don't want
Hey.
mean comments.
I'm a parent myself. I let my son watch the iPad. Yes, he watches a little too much, a little more than he should.
All right, so
I restrict him. No, I limit it. He plays
they
with his
have
toys. We can't
restrictions.
go outside because it's a little too cold. But
they have restrictions on
yeah,
everything. I mean,
there's restrictions.
even Netflix has restrictions. The Nintendo Switch.
I'm not against the video games or anything like that. I support it all. Let them play. Let them have a fair share of both. I personally believe, and for the viewers out there, you comment below if you agree with me or what your opinion, what you think about this. But I personally believe the high.
I'm just listening. I'm gonna kick you.
The amount of screen time, the high usage of electronics and video games and all that by the young age groups, and the leading to the decrease in outside playtime activity and exercise is leading to young children, the young adolescent obesity, and the young children being out of shape, not in the greatest health as 8, 10, 11, 12-year-olds should be. I don't know. That's just me. I hear about it all the time. That
Wow.
the young ones, are. What do you think, Mister Mister Iddles, shouting away over there?
All right.
Got your refreshments?
Yep. I'm sorry I keep moving, but my back hurts. I'm sitting on the edge of the couch, and like the metal rod, the metal. This is gonna sound really, really not right, but the metal
All right,
rod
just
on
move
the
on.
edge of the couch is like cutting off the circulation to my legs. So that's why I keep sitting back because my back hurts. I'm only 24, but my back hurts. Anyways, so all I'm gonna say is when it I don't have kids, so anybody listening, don't take this extremely to heart. But if I had kids, and it obviously anybody can say if I had or if I did or whatever, it's experience.
Hey, we're open for opinion.
Yeah,
Anyone
it's
can drop
it's
their input down below.
the reason
we
again.
we want to hear your feedback. We want to know what you guys think.
Again, it's going off of why I made the pod or why I wanted to make the podcast is because a lot of the times when I have a discussion with anybody, not just Chris, and I've realized this as I got older, is my views on things are always a little bit different or a little bit more. I wouldn't say controversial, but like I grew up different, and as I get older, I look at things a lot differently than I did, which a lot of people do. A lot of people will talk to you if you go talk to someone that you just met or someone you've known for a long time. They'll tell you that as they got older, they changed their views on a lot of things, and then kids to that extent really change their views on views on things. So going off of what Chris had said, and that is the view time and the play time. Sorry, there was a bug here, and I was trying to get the bug out of here, and I realized that we're not live streaming, but I was trying to, whatever. So I'm that kind of guy. I'm just out in the window there. So
he's a little cuckoo sometimes.
So if I would say it's more with, I hate to say this, but I'm going to. I would say it's more with boys than girls, because I feel like girls, they don't really like. Maybe with electronics it might be different, but like with boys, they want to play their games or whatever, right? So I'd say between ages, I would say 6, 7, 8. That area is a pretty good age, I'd say. If the parent gets them some kind of console, like some kind of video game console, whether it be PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, it doesn't matter. If that kid becomes addicted to that console, and by addicted I mean like the parent allows them to play it out of the gate, right? So let's say the kid gets a new Xbox for Christmas, right, at the end of the year. By April, the kid has done nothing besides either go to school and come home and play, or go, just play whatever at night, whatever for a couple
Basically,
hours.
Beat every level in the game.
That kid, in the summertime, regardless of when your school gets off of school, whether it be May, June, July, that kid is always going to want to do is play that console or whatever, whatever. And the parent now is like, well, from December to April, May, June, we let the kid play, X number of hours, but now the kid has nothing better to do. So now the parent is trying to take their kid, I would still say it's more boys, but is now trying to take their kid, and whether it be night, most states are nice outside in April, May, and June, but it's now like, oh, go outside and play, but the kid's like, oh, well, this is the first time I've gotten the chance to play more than 2 hours a day since December, which is,
That's when you gotta take a controller away.
Yeah, that's when you run into problems. See, when I was a kid,
in my opinion, you gotta wage it. You gotta prevent it from getting to that point.
Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, I played at night all the time. I was always, my friends came over. Yeah, I remember.
Or a rainy day.
Yeah, I mean, my friends came over and we played. See, again, Chris, we're different.
Video games are always good for a rainy day.
I bet
they'll all agree too.
I played all the time. I was not that I was never outside. I was, you know what? I wasn't outside until I got older. When I was like 17, 18, 19, and I met Andrew and all that stuff, that's when I started playing outside. That's when Andrew would go, let's go to the park, play ball, whatever. Like, that's
Hey,
when I started doing that.
It helped with me growing up in a neighborhood of a lot
You
of
did
homes,
it.
a lot of kids.
Well, you never
We
really.
all rode our bikes and rode our scooters and played basketball, played ball, played
Oh,
football, baseball, all of it.
I got some ice.
Sleepovers, manhunt, tag, you name it, we did it. We
hey.
played it.
You want to talk about activities outside? I'm all for it.
Hey, that's all the fun stuff. I feel like the kids these days
At birthday parties, at Christmas. Well, maybe not Christmas, but because we grew up in a state that snows. At birthday parties, at like 4th of July, just holidays in general. Like, we played Manhunt. I loved Manhunt. We actually had my dad had this super. This was so stupid, but he had this super light. It could light up the whole road, and we would use it. We get 10 seconds after we came out of the what do you call that? The base or whatever. You know how you had the finders and hiders. We would
the
finders
base in jail.
Yeah. Well, no, not jail. Like, you'd have to sit in the house or whatever for like 5 minutes while everybody hid, and then you go out and find them.
Yeah.
And then, but we had, because we were doing it. You've been to my house.
Tried playing that in my neighborhood.
Yeah. But
it took an hour for each
you've been
round to go. It was terrible. We had to have time limits and boundaries.
Yeah, you've been what's it called? Swimming at my house. But you've seen my backyard, and you've been there before, anyways. But
yeah,
we used to take that light and shine it in the back, and we would see everybody before we even left the house, and then we'd go out and find everybody. But yeah, I remember we played a lot of Manhunt. But Manhunt's at night. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, we're talking about like
exactly.
during the day.
You gotta wait till nighttime.
Well, yeah, but the discussion is why don't kids
even during the summer, during the daytime in the summer, water gun fights, water balloons, go swimming. You gotta do it all. You gotta live it up as a young kid.
But we lived in a state that you can't go swimming 24 hours, or not 24 hours, but 365 days a year.
Yeah, well, that's why I said during the summer.
I don't know, man. I mean, I have to say, like,
winter time, go sleigh riding if there's snow out there.
With the discussion being why don't kids play outside more than they should, I think my answer is because there's so much screens. That's what people call them, I guess. Still call them electronics. But there's
I
want to
answer that exact specific.
Yeah, but there's so many screens now, or electronics, iPads, iPhones, Samsungs, Xbox, the new Xboxes, the new PlayStations, the new Nintendos, like VRs. Like, when I was I hate this. I'm not old. You're not old either. But I'm saying, like, I feel like just going back 10 years when we were in our teens, like, we didn't have not a lot. We didn't have that much less stuff, but we didn't have as much stuff. You know what I mean? Obviously,
yeah.
The time changes and things come out and whatever.
Oh yeah.
But still, like, if you remember when you were sick,
a lot has come out since we were that young.
Yeah, I mean, I had a PS3 and I had a 360 at the same. I mean, at the same time, I was very spoiled. But like, I spent a lot. I remember my fingers, like, because my hands are so big. I remember my middle finger would get bruised by the 360 controller because I played so much. I swear to God. Swear to God. And then I remember like, it was yesterday. My mom and dad were sleeping, or they were in the bedroom, and I went in there and I thought I had carpal tunnel because my wrists hurt from holding the controller for so long. Like, I played.
Yeah, so you're one of the guys.
My nickname in high school was DTA Play All Day, and that's when I turned my gamer tag into. You know, JP S is his cousin here.
Yes, I know.
JP is the one who nicknamed me that. JP used to try and make fun of me in high school or middle school, whatever it was, and be like, "Oh, Dave, you stayed home from school to play Call of Duty?" Yeah, yeah. You know, like, yeah, I would stay home from school. I would go to midnight releases. Like, So like, I mean, we had our fair share of screens or whatever you want to call them, electronics. But like nowadays, like your kid has the iPad. I didn't have them. It wasn't the iPhone wasn't even invented when
Like
I was.
that's the thing too. These days, it's like there's way too much. Besides even the video games
Yeah.
and the iPad screen necessarily, whatever. Obviously, it depends what's being viewed on there. But in general, like even the iPhone, whatever, the apps that are accessible to younger age groups these days is just, to me, it's just crazy. Number one, but that's what is addictive and attracting. They're everyone, even us, even the older groups, adults and stuff like that. Everyone out there is constantly scrolling Facebook.
I just want a big
Constantly
TV.
constantly scrolling all the other social media apps, TikTok,
Yeah,
and
but like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I could see kids in that age group, in that age range. Even like I would say even more towards like 8 to 12 in that age range. Like they're playing more. Well, I don't know because I don't have kids and your kid's still young, but they're playing more video games and stuff. I don't think they're really on social media.
yeah. My son just watches his cartoons on his iPad.
I know, but you're.
Pretty much what he
But
does.
like what I was getting at is like kids that in that age range aren't really like on Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and all that.
No, true. TikTok
That's
for sure.
yeah. I feel like even nowadays,
But
like,
maybe not so much the other ones, but just a lot of games too.
in January of 2023, that'll be for later on in 2 years when we look back and say this was the stupidest thing we ever done. But in January of 23, like social media is more targeted, I think, towards our age range. Like, and I mean, I don't know how accurate that
Yeah,
is.
you'd be surprised though there's young ones on there. How young some of them
I
are.
mean, hey, I would, I
They
mean,
put out.
so if I was a parent, I don't know. You can rebuttal on. We're not really like discussing like a argument here, but like if I was a parent, my kid definitely wouldn't be having no social media until like they were at least like I want to say maybe 15, 14, 15, 16. It's like you don't need like what do you like if I like so
I know like a lot of younger kids, 10, 12 years old, start making them, start getting them.
my mother did not want me to have a Facebook when Facebook like became like
I probably
really
wouldn't mind. I would just set the account up, whatever, so it's very limited, very
yeah.
privacy, all that type of stuff. I'd probably just put my own info, basic info on it and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I remember.
I mean, realistically, I think there is an age limit.
Yeah,
when
there
you
is.
create a Facebook account or any
I
of those
think
accounts, I
Facebook
believe there's
had
an age
it-
limit. That's why realistically a lot of
I think
kids
Facebook
lie
did
about
have it
their
at
age.
like they didn't have it at like 16 or something like that. I
Yeah.
remember because you know how you see a bunch of people on there that are like, yeah, I'm actually 20, but it says I'm 30.
Yeah.
That's because Facebook had a age thing on there, and I'm pretty sure they all do. But even like dating websites, I won't.
I don't really think it stops anyone though.
No, it doesn't. I mean, I'm
But-
pretty sure that's what I did. I was only like,
Yeah, I think kids just need to
like 20.
break away from the screen a little bit sometimes and
No, it had to have been before.
go enjoy the outside, go enjoy the outdoors, play,
Yeah. It's sad, man. It really
create
is.
childhood
It really
memories and
I mean,
laughter and
I
and
have a
everything
lot
else
of
with your friends.
I have a lot of memories from both in and outdoors, which is funny because I really until now I didn't really think about a lot of my.
I mean, even so, indoors, you don't gotta be playing video games. Have a friend over to play a board game. We used to
Chris,
love playing board games.
who is playing board games? He said, "Have a friend over and play them." I love to see you tell some 12-year-old to have a friend over and play
Alright,
a board game.
Anyone out
You
there?
sound just like
Any
my
of the viewers
parents.
watching this video right now, comment below if you miss board games.
I mean,
If
hey,
you love
board
playing
games are
board
fun. Don't
I'm
get
not
me
saying
wrong.
every one of them, but there was a
Chris.
handful of board games out there that
Oh,
were
this kid
awesome,
said-
and you could
This
play.
kid said, have
game after
a
game in a
friend
row.
over and play a board game.
Hey, who else agrees with that? Nothing's better than having a friend or a few friends over playing board games.
I won't say your kid's name, but I can just see you when he turns like 10.
I'll play a board game with him.
Hey, so and so.
I grew up on board games. I grew up playing Scrabble, playing Monopoly,
I'll say your kid's name is Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Have Jonathan over. You guys hang out in the kitchen and play a board game. One play shoots
Who
ladders.
agrees that they rather their child play a board game than be glued to the video game screen?
No one.
Comment below.
Ever.
Let us know.
Ever. No one is going to do that. Ever. Again.
Okay.
Board games are like extinct. You know when you play a board game? This is when you play a board game. When the power goes out.
Very true.
and you're shitting outside because you can't flush the toilet. That's when you're playing a board game.
Okay.
Not when the new Call
I
of Duty
haven't
drops.
experienced that in many years.
Not
I
when the
don't
new
plan
Call
on
of Duty drops.
experiencing it.
You know what? Because I just finished The Walking Dead. You know when you play a board game? When the zombie apocalypse happens.
Yeah.
The only board game that you'll catch me playing is chess. And that's not even a board game. To me, it's not. But this guy says, have a friend over and play. even if your son, would I call him Jonathan, Jimmy? Even if your son Jimmy had a friend over at his age and his grade, those two still wouldn't play board games.
Yeah, because he's 4 years old. He'd be playing with his toys and racing monster trucks across my living room.
Board game.
That's what kids, and especially boys, that's what they do. That's the real fun.
Who said play a board game? All right.
Anyway, so let's move on to the next topic.
All right. So we kind of already touched on like what we want to see from the podcast. If you want, we can do that real quick, or we can do the other topic and then just kind of end it.
Do what real quick?
Like what we want to see from the podcast, and then we'll end it with the last topic.
All right, I don't know what you mean by that, but
all right, no, I'll just keep it going here. Apologize to the viewers. This is obviously our very first podcast, and I'm trying to keep it short. We got about 20 more minutes, so we're gonna keep this next topic a little bit shorter. But hopefully you've been enjoying so far, and many more laughs to come in future videos. So don't forget to click and subscribe and all that good stuff. We just want to thank you for staying with us here, and we're gonna try our best to have a regimen of videos, and the more we figure it out, the more we'll let you know in videos. And if you, like I said, if you enjoy this, we're going to be making some social medias and stuff as time goes on, and we'll be updating the people that have been watching. So without further ado, our last topic or two here, I have down here in my notes what we would like to see from this podcast. And I'm just going to keep my answer very short and sweet. That way we can get on to the last topic. And, sorry, I'm out of breath because I'm fat. And that is, what I like to see out of this podcast is just, me and my friends, whether it be Chris or, I know I kind of mentioned this earlier, but me and my friends, whether it be Chris or even my brother-in-law, I've mentioned to him. He's a very funny guy. I'd like to have him on if I can get him some time. Even Andrew, like it would be nice to have me, Chris, and Andrew in a podcast together because we've been, like we mentioned in the beginning, we known each other for a very long time. And just have fun and talk about things that we've all experienced in our lifetime. We're not very old, but I have experienced a lot in 24 years. Chris is very old now. Chris has experienced a lot too, and we've all been through a lot of life experiences. And everybody has opinions. They're like buttholes. Everybody's got one, and just have fun. Like I said, just have fun and just talk about just different topics that we think is interesting and that people would want to listen to. Whether you're driving to work or you just know us personally, or you think that we're funny, or that I'm good looking, or Chris is good. Hey, some people might think Chris is good looking. I don't know, but hey, I'm gonna turn over.
I want to throw one thing out there.
Here we go.
I want you guys to drop your comment your opinions in the comments below. What do you think about his black and red hair?
I just did this the other day. I
Good
didn't
or
do it for this
bad?
podcast.
You don't hurt his feelings. We want to know the truth.
Oh yeah, and on that subject, I mean, what would be throw the podcast out the window for a minute. What would be a YouTube video without comments? I'd say I watch between 10 to 20 videos a night on YouTube. Like legitimately, like I watch a lot of like 10 to 15 to 30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. Let's say I watch 20 videos. Out of those 20, I'd say I comment on about 8. So like I do comment a lot. So like if you guys, especially with this podcast being more of discussion based, and I was gonna say my discussion matters, but my opinion matters. But like with Chris and me, it'd be funny to see, not funny, but honestly, it'd be very truthful, I guess, to see how people react to our sides of the story.
We want your feedback. We want your thoughts and opinions on what you think about the whole video, the content, everything. And hey, if you're happy with it, if you like what you see so far and hear, if you enjoy the content so far, smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel, set the notification bell. You'll get every next video that comes out.
Every new next video. All right, Chris, make it snappy. What do you want to see from the podcast?
I want to see whatever.
All right, moving on here.
There,
I was just kidding.
I want their thoughts, their opinions on, like I just said, on the content, and we'll be sure to produce more, and we'll get better as time goes. If you guys have any ideas on topics or categories or questions to answer or anything like that, drop them below. We'll be sure to discuss them and answer them to what we think. Overall, I mean, I like to see where it goes, see what people think.
Yeah, trying to get rich, YouTube money.
Yeah,
I had to throw that in there. All right, so we're gonna.
We're on here to have fun. We're not. We're on here to just have fun, make friends.
I'm trying to make some money too.
Grow,
All right.
Grow a platform, have an audience.
Yeah, I just want people to know who I am. I'm tired of walking down the street and no one says hi to me.
He's a loner and a loser.
Yeah. Hey, any cute ladies out there? Whatever. Hit me up. Anyways.
Yeah.
I'm just messing around. All right. So, without further ado, our last topic. Got about 10 minutes or so to discuss this. Then we're gonna end it off, and then we're gonna say our goodbyes, and we'll see you on the next one. All right. So my last topic I have in here. This is one of my favorites. I've been waiting all day for this one. Are you or are you not? Are you or are you not a breakfast guy or a girl, whatever? When you get up,
breakfast person.
Yeah, or LGBTQLMNGNO IBINGO. Chris.
Yes.
Are you or are you not a breakfast guy? I already know the answer to this, but go ahead.
All right. In general, I am a breakfast guy.
Wait, I want you to talk to me like I'm in therapy.
Why are you laying down?
Because I want to be like I'm in therapy. Go ahead.
Overall, I am a breakfast guy, but I do not eat breakfast at a normal breakfast time at all. I do enjoy the whole variety of breakfast, foods that you can eat. But like I said, I never eat breakfast in the morning time. It's usually late morning, or if it's already noontime, I skip it and go right to lunch.
you're a brunch kind of guy.
Yeah, you can call it that if you want. I love me some Eggos.
Yeah, we know. Not a sponsor. Am I a lunch or breakfast? No, absolutely not. I think breakfast. I think breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and I think before you go do anything, this is not this. All right, so this is not a breakfast answer. This is more of like just a food answer. But like, I think before you go do anything, especially if you know that you get really hangry, like some people. Like the other day, I was at work. I hadn't eaten yet before I got to lunch, and it was like 4 hours before I got to lunch. I was like giving people the stank eye. I was like, get away from me, you know. So I think it's important to eat before you go out and do whatever you have to do. I guess whether it be breakfast or whatever, but like if you're talking about the food group of breakfast, eggs, sausage, whatever, bacon, toast, all that good stuff, like no, I don't. Honestly, I don't care about breakfast.
Breakfast at the diner, always
Yeah.
the best.
That's one thing, but like every morning getting up, like going like when you go grocery shopping and buying eggs and all that stuff, like
Yeah, no.
I love how eggs is like. I feel like eggs is like.
I don't cook a full blown breakfast every morning.
It doesn't have to be. I'm just saying,
So
like
it's
I'm just
fast.
because eggs is like the universal like breakfast food or cereal maybe, but like yeah.
Or an egg sandwich on the go.
Yeah, but like as far as, and I think, and really, actually, I want to say this too. You really get a kick out of this. I think the reason that eggs, actually, why do you think eggs is the universal breakfast food? Because it's just another food. Think about it.
It's
Wait,
healthy. It's one of the healthier choices.
I have a completely
loaded with
different answer than what
protein.
you're saying right now.
It's loaded with protein. I know a lot of people out there, consider that. It's a good healthy wholesome meal.
Wow, that was really dumb. I think eggs is the universal breakfast food is because it cures.
Coming from you, look at the difference between me and you.
Hey, I'm a lot more filled out than you are. So
okay, yeah, a lot more.
I eat a lot more eggs than you do. If you catch my drift.
No, I don't think so.
Would you let me get to the punchline, please?
You're like an old friend of mine. He said he
bald
became
eagle?
overweight from. No, he said he became overweight from eating too much salad and healthy food.
Who said that?
We all laughed. An old friend. I don't talk to him anymore.
It wasn't the bald eagle.
You wouldn't know him, but he was probably a little bigger than you. Maybe your size.
And that guy you delivered to tonight?
Huh?
Or should I like that
Nah.
guy?
No.
Wait, I was setting up for a really good joke. It wasn't really a joke, it was actually more of a statement. But so the reason why eggs is a universal breakfast food, in my opinion, is because it cures hangovers. It tastes great. Actually, a lot of people don't like eggs, but I met a lot of people who don't like eggs. And it goes with a lot of different foods. But the main one is because it cures hangovers. That and bread. I tell you what, man. Anytime me and my dad drank and he wanted to go out for breakfast, eggs and toast every time. But yeah. So as far as
you guys let us know what you think about that.
So yeah, like I said, as far as if you're a breakfast person or not, I am not. Chris is more of a eat on the go kind of guy, from what I'm getting.
Yeah.
In other words, when he gets, we both don't get up till noon. Period.
You can't put me in there. I get up earlier than you.
Yeah, I don't. Well, you.
He'll sleep. Noon's his earliest. He'll sleep at 2 p.m. some days.
More like 4, but yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm up. I'm not up bright and early, but I'm up in the earlier half of the morning.
But like, so with this discussion as well, like I was gonna say, like I feel like most people, um, it determines like what determines it is what kind of job they have, as far as if you're a morning shift kind of person. Because Andrew, I hate to keep talking about Andrew, but Andrew, he'll go and get like bagels and all sorts.
Oh yeah, every morning.
But my dad, he gets up and he drinks coffee. You know what I mean? Like a lot of older people.
Oh yeah.
Like
I bet you the viewers would agree with that. Everyone's got to have their morning
but coffee's
cup of
not.
coffee.
Yeah, but coffee's not a breakfast. It's not a food.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
it is.
not.
It's a
But
drink.
it's an essential for coffee drinkers. It's an essential. They have to have their cup of coffee in the morning. I personally don't drink coffee every
I'm
morning.
getting to that point.
I haven't had coffee in a while.
Yeah.
I don't mind it, but it doesn't always agree with me. So I just stay away from it.
Yeah. But so like, what I really enjoy if I'm off. So if I'm off, right, I enjoy. Like today, for example, I had one meal all day. I didn't wake up till 4 o'clock, but I
He's
had one
the
meal.
unhealthy one.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want your one, I mean, I'll probably eat again before I go to bed, which it's now 2 in the morning.
2 o'clock.
Yeah, but if I eat again, I mean, I'll probably just have a snack because I don't have a lot of food in the house. But like if I had maybe a pizza or something like that, I might cook that. But like I'm just not. I don't like the food group that is associated with breakfast. Not a huge. I mean, I like eggs and stuff, but like
I love me some pancakes.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I don't know. I like pancakes. I mean, I like them, but I don't love them. I wouldn't get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and choose to have pancakes and.
That's a great way to start the day.
A lot,
that's a great way to start the day.
That's the difference between. That's where I have to go against you because I was never like that. Even when I went to school in the morning, my dad used to make me eggs. I would get up.
Who else out there loves pancakes?
I mean, I love pancakes. Don't get me wrong, but
I bet you.
I'm talking like
pancakes
7 o'clock in the morning. Like think about
chip pancakes.
Did your
cannoli pancakes?
Did your parents, mainly your mom? Did she make you breakfast before you got on the bus in the morning?
Yes and no.
I'm going to rephrase it like this.
Usually not.
if mom or dad made you eggs and toast at 6:30 in the morning, because we had to get on the bus at 7 or 6:30, whatever it was.
Yeah.
If they made you breakfast, would you or would you not eat it? Because me, I never ate it. My dad always ate it. Always. He would make it.
I probably would.
And I would eat like hungry. 2 or 3 bites, and I'd be like, nah, I'm good. I don't want this.
Because I know when I got to school, I'd always buy a bagel and cream cheese and sit in first class eating it.
First class? Oh, I'm thinking like planes first class. Like, what? You flew to school? That's pretty awesome.
I would sit in my first class, first period.
I know. No, I would sit. Well, you went to Arlington too, but yeah, I would sit in the cafeteria. But I remember all the kids sitting down there. But we would get there early though. Well, maybe not because we take the bus. But I remember I don't know. I guess it's been a while now.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years for you and.
Yeah, going on 11.
Oh God, it's been like 7, 8 years for me. So yeah, we're getting old. Oh man, so again, if we're breakfast people, I am not. I could when I get up, I need to take me. I need to take like at least 2 to 3 hours to eat something. If I'm sometimes I'll get up and I'll be really hungry, which is not all the time, but like today I was pretty hungry when I got up. But it kind of passes. Like unless I'm working, like when I go to work, if I'm hungry before I get to work.
And I think it goes for anyone. If you get up and you're right into physical work or some type of exercise, you're burning up those calories fast. You're hungry fast. You're ready to demolish some food.
Yeah, but I do love a good buffet. Not a breakfast. Nah, see, why don't they have breakfast buffets?
Yeah, I would take a breakfast buffet.
No,
it's amazing.
Well, maybe they do have.
When you go away, go on vacation, and you wake up and your resort's got a breakfast buffet downstairs.
Yeah, hotels. That's one thing, but I'm talking like
Well, that's what I just
I'm
said.
talking like
I'm not talking about no continental breakfast either. I'm talking about the hot bar.
no, that's a whole topic for a whole other video. But I'm talking like some hotels that I've stayed at, especially with my ex. Some hotels have really nice breakfast buffets. Like but the problem with the really nice ones are, this is going way off topic, but the problem with
very.
is like they only last an hour. So you like get down there and you're like, oh, there's breakfast. They're like, oh, sorry,
an hour should be more than enough time to eat.
No, I'm talking. Well, if you got someone that came in,
Gotta feed a fat man 10 plates.
no. If you get someone that comes in there and they get in at like 11 o'clock at night and they're up and they're showering, they're shitting and all that other stuff, and they don't go to bed till 3 o'clock in the morning, they get up at 8 o'clock and get up.
Oh, I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got
The breakfast only lasts
serving
an
breakfast
hour.
from like 8 to 9 or something like that. Yeah, I hate that too.
They do that a lot of places do that.
I
remember
hate that too.
I was
I thought you meant they only give you an hour.
No, I'm not name dropping my ex, but I would stay with her at hotels. And like I would go downstairs at like 9:30, 10 o'clock thinking like, oh, there's breakfast upstairs. And they would be like, nope, sorry, it's only from 7 to 8. I'd be like, who serves breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning?
Too. At the end of the day, right there, I'd rather just go spend $5 on a bacon, egg, and cheese at the gas station down the road or the deli down the road.
$5. Yeah, right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video because I'm not going to lie, I had a blast. Hopefully, me and Chris get together again. I mean, we're friends forever, I guess.
We will be. There's no hopefully.
We'll be having some more topics.
Another video in the next few days.
Yeah, we'll have some more topics to talk about and more funny discussions and more of me versus him or me versus.
I would love to hear what you guys have to say. What kind of topics you guys?
Well, I thought you said I don't care what you guys have to say.
No, I would love to hear what they have to say about this current video and future videos.
So,
give us some ideas on topics and stuff.
I just want to throw this out there as well. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload this to my main channel. I did make a separate channel, and Chris knows all this already, but I made a separate channel called David versus Everyone, and it has no subscribers because it's brand new. But we're gonna upload the first maybe 1 to 3, 1 to 5. That's what I'm planning on doing to the main channel, and then if I can get some views on it, we'll see. I mean, most of my videos only get between 5 to 10 views, whatever. I mean, it is what it is, but we'll try it out on there and see what happens, and then go on from there. If anything else changes, we'll let you know. If you've made it this far through the podcast, through our little video, I mean, we're going to call it a podcast. But
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I'm David, and that is Chris. And I just want to apologize because we are not in the same room, obviously. We are on Skype, and this is the only way we could do this and make it work. My setup is a little ghetto. Chris is a little more professional, I think, with this little white background. My little ghetto curtain back here that's hiding another room and my couch. But I wanted to make
it'll be upgraded in the future. I don't think they mind too much.
I got a lot of rooms in my house, so maybe I'll change the room up, make it interesting. I just want to thank everybody who made it this far. Anybody who's watching, any friends and family who are watching, we appreciate it. I know I do. And again, I want to thank you for clicking the like button and subscribing and commenting your thoughts on our topics here. If you have any topics that you'd like to see us discuss in the future, please feel free to comment them down below. And me and Chris will go through and talk about each one off camera, and then maybe bring it up in the future, and maybe even name drop you and say, hey, look, so-and-so thought it would be a good idea.
Hey, if anyone wants a shout out, let us know. We'll be sure to give you a shout out.
So again, I'm gonna put it over to Chris here, and deuces, and I'll catch you guys down the road when we come back.
Well, like he said, if you enjoyed the content or video and look forward to seeing the next ones get dropped, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, drop your comments below, give us some feedback. We'll be sure to check it all out. Go from there. Look at this guy over there. But yeah, we enjoyed today, and we'd like to see what everyone thinks. And we will go from there. We'll be back in a few days with the next one. As always, have a good one.